Well, good morning. It's time to show you what's happened in the studio. Look at that gorgeous morning vista. So here they are. The two dogs are waiting for us. And we've got lights in the studio. Yay, have a look. Hello. Hello. Here we are. It's going to be a bit flickery because of the LEDs. So we've got all the downlights connected. The fans are in all the way through the building. If you just look down through there, they're all on the same level. And the track lights are in progress. So, hang on, can you see? So we're just waiting for a few things, but they basically come down out of the power comes in one end and it runs all the way along like a kind of a strip of power, and they're connected, the strips, and then they hang. Anyway, you can see what's going on. They're suspended from the ceiling, and then the track lights are connected in. This is one of the little lights. They're called the brand is SAL, and the system is really good because you can add to it and remove. They just clip into the track. Boom, and we have put one bank over there, which I'm sorry, I will just have to turn it on. And I've just got to work out which one it is. There's so many light switches. No, that's the fan. There it is. Look, come and see. I've just thrown up a painting. It's a bit glary, but I'll show you the difference. What I'm going to do is turn off the lights overhead. You can see how much light that puts out on the painting. It's not as bleached out as you think it is. You see? It looks really nice in real life. You'll have to take my word for it. All right, let me take you through. So all those tracks along there, just going to go out, will have lights to light up that wall, because I will probably, I know it's an exhibiting wall and all that jazz, and I know I've got the windows in the way, but that was essential for ventilation, and because it would have been nice to have canvases right up higher, but I'll probably work on these walls, and that's why, I mean, you know, it's a lovely gallery, isn't it? But I built it for me to work in, so it could be either. I mean, all I got to do is drop some plastic on those walls. You just staple it. It's just gyprock. It's easy to repair. You get a big roll of, it's just builder's plastic, white, like as in clear, I should say. It's a bit smelly when you first put it on, but it's a good way to protect your lounge room or anywhere else that you want to work. You just use a stapler and you staple it to the wall. There's tiny holes which you can repair later on, and you've got yourself a fabulous protection, so you can splash around till your heart's content. Same in this room, which I call the middle studio, and I'll just show you what I've done. I know I'm going to paint the floor, but not just yet. It's been prepped for that. So in the meantime, I've been thinking about it, and the trouble with painted floor, as I've been discussing with an artist friend of mine, it really, I know the arty-farty look with paint all over the floor, but you know, you've got to slip and slide in that when you're working, and I make a lot of mess, and I do throw down towels and stuff, especially with underpaintings, but it's, you know, it's just messy and it's ugh. So yes, the arty-farty look, but the best option I've found for studio is carpet tiles, and not new ones. Don't worry about that, because if you get new, you'll be precious about them. These are second hand. I've got enough, supposedly, to do the full 200 square metres. They're just a charcoal. Some of them are a bit damaged for that price, but they can just go under furniture, etc. But the key with them is that you can move them around, and if you make a huge mess like I did in my former studio, and I mean, not that you need to, but when I was selling the property, I just removed those and replaced them because they were a standard tile. And the good thing is that they are rubberised, so when you're standing on them, it's a little bit easier on your posture and everything. So that's my next job. I have to vacuum, as you can see. I've been attempting to vacuum all the plaster dust up. I had to go and buy a really big, solid, well, it wasn't that expensive. A Karcher WD6 in order to be able to suck it up. I mean, if you use a standard vac, you'll destroy your vacuum cleaner. So that's in progress, and then they go down, because when they go down, I just notice that these are waiting for the track lights, that's why they're hanging down. And then this is just an area where I've plonked them in with little doggy plaster prints all over them. So I've just been bringing some things in, which is such a relief from where I've had them in storage. This is just framing stuff. So this room will be like, I guess you could call it like a framing room or stretching room. And then, got to get the kitchen cabinets for the tea room, and the little tiny bathroom needs to be tiled. So I've got some non-slip tiles, which are really nice from Bunnings. They were not too expensive, for the floor. And then this hip bath, which will serve a dual purpose as a paper soaker if needed, needs to be hooked up, and then it'll be just white rectified tiles, which are the best to use. They're just simple, 600 by 300, and a toilet. So that's that. And then outside there will be, and unfortunately I can't show you, but there's lights that are on that shine into the trees, and that will be just gorgeous at night. Not that I work much at night these days. And I've just thrown some bark down here so that all the bloomin' clay and mud that was getting dragged in is a little bit settled. There's still some hooking up to do around the back there. Excuse me, George, come. He'll run away. Come on, quick. George, out the back of the gallery, and I want to show you, I've been putting in some, these are acacia limelight, and they're just going to run along the front of that limestone wall, so they'll kind of over the top, and maybe some pencil pines, I think. Right, so let's go back into the brightness. Poor dogs, look at those dirty windows. Oh, there's so much work to do, stickers and things to remove. The cleaner has not been here yet, which is me, of course. So these can be set at 3 different temperatures. It's 3,000, 4,000 and 5,700. So the 3,000 is warm, 4,000 is daylight, and 5,700 is just like white light. It's just really horrible and stark. So I've just put them on 4,000, and it gives a nice light. I really like the warm light. I've put these downlights on warm, and they could be brighter, but there's going to be enough light. The bay lights will just be, they can do the same thing actually, and they'll be in between. And the idea with those is that I hope to have some workshops here, which will be weekends or 4 days where you come down and stay in the town, the beautiful town of Balingup, and we have quite intensive workshops. And this would be the room where we set out tables to work on, and then even though they'd be mostly in the daytime, if we did go over into the night, these lights, the bay lights down the centre, will light the middle of the room more efficiently. So, oh God, the lighting, the electricals have cost a fortune. It's been quite surprising. Well, the entire building has been rather expensive, and I have been surprised. Building costs have gone up well over 30%, which has, I reckon it's been 50% on some things, so that's knocked my socks off. However, it is what it is, and this is probably more like a house build in that it is, it's plumbed, it's got like a toilet, a small bathroom, it's got a small kitchen, even though it is not classed as that. with the Shire. It is actually a work building, so no one's trying to claim any differently. And you know, it's air conditioned, so it's got a water supply, the big tank, which I haven't even added into my calculations, but that big gigantic tank out there gives me an extra 160,000 litres, which is really important on a farm. It's got a hot water system. So, you know, I could go on, but it is a fully built building, like a house. It's just not rated as such. So it really, probably, when you break it down, you can see the value there, except that in the past, when I've lined sheds, it has been a fraction of the cost. I really have to say that. For example, just for anyone that's interested, I'm probably getting a bit boring by this stage, but for example, to put a vinyl plank, looks like, you know, wood grain floor in here, is $20,000. I mean, that would be what it would have cost you to put a real wood floor in it, only not that long ago. So that's just for vinyl tiles, incredible. I mean, just brand new carpet tiles would have cost about $8,000, just for cheap ones from Bunnings. And anything else was sort of somewhere in between. I think lino was about $6,000, just linoleum. But the trouble with lino is it's no good in these big spaces when you're rolling trolleys across it. Oh gosh, I'm probably boring you like mad now, so I'm going to stop this and get on with setting up my studio. Thanks for listening. See ya.